America's Most Dangerous Cities, a surprisingly nuanced vacation guide. We're talking about dangerous cities in the US. Look, no one wants to sugarcoat it. America has a crime problem. This isn't meant to be a shaming exercise. It's about arming you, the intrepid traveler, with the information you need to make informed decisions. So buckle up as we take a look at 5 US cities with some of the highest crime rates based on FBI statistics and the kind of gut feeling you get when you see a clown holding a chainsaw at a playground. And because we believe in fairness, we'll also be highlighting some of the unique charms each city has to offer. First up, we have St. Louis, Missouri, a city that boasts a world-famous arch and a murder rate that arches higher than the damn thing itself. Now, I'm not saying you'll definitely get stabbed for looking at someone sideways in St. Louis, but let's just say you probably shouldn't wear your finest monocle and top hat while strolling through East St. Louis after dark. But hey, let's talk about the positives, because every city has them, even if they're buried under a pile of discarded police tape. St. Louis is home to the Cardinals, a baseball team so beloved that even their most ardent fans would probably admit that a trip to Busch Stadium isn't worth a shiving. You've also got the City Museum, a magical wonderland of architectural salvage that's basically a giant playground for adults and children brave enough to risk tetanus. Just, maybe pack some hand sanitizer and a whistle. And who could forget the culinary delights of St. Louis-style pizza? Yes, I know, it's basically a crime against pizza, but when in Rome, or rather, when desperately seeking sustenance in a city with a questionable safety record, you do what you gotta do. Next, we venture into the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, a city that's been through more ups and downs than a car on a roller coaster designed by a sadist. Once a thriving hub of industry, Detroit has faced its share of challenges, including a crime rate that would make even the most hardened Batman villain think twice. Now, I know what you're thinking. John, why are you being so negative? Detroit has made incredible strides in recent years, and you're right. Downtown Detroit is experiencing a renaissance with trendy restaurants, craft breweries, and enough artisanal beard wax to supply a lumberjack convention. But let's not kid ourselves, folks. Detroit still has a long way to go. While downtown might be sparkling, venture too far from the revitalized core, and you might find yourself wishing you'd invested in a suit of armor instead of that overpriced craft cocktail. But hey, if you're a fan of urban exploration, or ruin porn as the kids these days call it, Detroit is a veritable buffet of abandoned buildings just begging to be Instagrammed. Hold on to your blue suede shoes, folks, because we're heading down south to Memphis, Tennessee. A city that's as famous for its musical heritage as it is for its, shall we say, robust crime rate. Yes, Memphis is the birthplace of rock and roll, the home of Elvis, and a mecca for barbecue enthusiasts. But it's also a city where you're more likely to find yourself singing the blues after getting your wallet stolen. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't visit Graceland or indulge in some mouth-watering ribs while you're there. Just maybe consider wearing a money belt under your blue suede shoes and avoid eye contact with anyone who looks like they might know the words to Jailhouse Rock a little too well. On the plus side, Memphis is a city with a soul, a place where the music seeps into your bones and the food warms your soul, assuming your soul hasn't already been stolen along with your wallet. Next, we sail into Baltimore, Maryland, a city that's home to a charming harbor, delicious crab cakes, and enough crime to make even the cast of The Wire say, damn, that's messed up. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Baltimore has a crime problem, a big one, but it's also a city with a rich history, a vibrant art scene, and some of the friendliest people you'll ever meet, assuming they're not trying to steal your car at that particular moment. You can stroll through the inner harbor, marvel at the ships at the National Aquarium, and even visit the birthplace of the Star-Spangled Banner, all while trying to avoid becoming a statistic yourself. It's like a real-life game of Oregon Trail, except instead of dysentery, you have to worry about getting stabbed. But hey, if you're a fan of historical landmarks, fresh seafood, and the thrill of living on the edge, Baltimore might just be the city for you. Finally, we arrive in Oakland, California, a city that's often overshadowed by its glitzier neighbor across the bay, San Francisco. But Oakland is a city with its own unique identity, a thriving art scene, and a crime rate that's higher than the rent in San Francisco. Now, I know what you're thinking. John, you're being unfair. Oakland is a vibrant hub of diversity and culture. And you're right, Oakland is home to a thriving arts scene, delicious food from around the world, and enough hipsters to populate a small nation of ironic facial hair. But let's not pretend that Oakland doesn't have its issues. The city has struggled with crime for years, and while there are certainly safe areas, there are also neighborhoods where you might want to avoid wearing your finest fanny pack. But hey, if you're looking for an affordable alternative to San Francisco, with a grittier vibe and a more authentic urban experience, Oakland might just be the place for you. So, there you have it, folks. 5 of America's most dangerous cities, each with its own unique blend of charm, excitement, and the constant threat of impending doom. Look, I'm not saying you shouldn't visit these cities, but I am saying you should be aware of the risks and take precautions. Don't be that tourist wandering around a dangerous neighborhood at night, flashing your cash and your iPhone like you're begging to be relieved of both. Use common sense, be aware of your surroundings, and maybe consider investing in a personal security detail made up of retired Navy SEALs. And hey, if you do decide to visit any of these cities, be sure to share your experiences, both good and bad, in the comments below. Because let's face it, we're all in this together.